Hi everyone, Ricardo Paul back here again with yet another assignment. Student number 202477, and I'm currently a third year IP student at Stadio. So, to get into it, basically my assignment today has been about creating a mask that represents a particular learner that I encountered during my teaching practice at a special needs school. So, the special need that I've chosen is ADHD, and basically this has been inspired by a particular learner that really stood out to me during my teaching practice at the special needs school, and he goes by the name of Tyra Mazibuko, which I mentioned in my write-up. This is my visual representation of Tyra Mazibuko. This is basically all of the symbols, the drawings, as well as the colors that I believe best represents what Tyrell stands for and stood for during my time that I got the pleasure to meet him. So as you can see, we have the A, D, H, D. Okay, so let's get into the breakdown as to why I chose these particular colors, why I chose these particular designs, as well as the certain words that I'm going to go through in detail. So obviously we have blue, we have a reddish pink, and we have the sparkling green. So these colors in particular are extremely bright, they are very vibrant, and they are very energetic, which is exactly what Tara was on a daily basis. Always energetic, always fidgeting, always moving about in the classroom. Even when I or the mentor teacher had an opportunity to teach, he was always the one that was just moving around mostly in the class. So these colors definitely represent the energy that he had. Then we go into the particular drawings and designs. As you can see here, we have a shirt, and then we have obviously a neck with this representing the brain with all of the thoughts all over the place. This is as like a cloud, but basically that's to represent the brain. So in other words, Tyrell with the ADHD, this represents how his mind is always moving all over the place, how he's always thinking of many things at once, and he's never just settled on a particular thought. Next we have the music symbols. This represents his love for music, and during my research as well, I came across the fun fact that most people with ADHD are actually quite talented in music. Whether they can play instruments, they can sing, they can dance, anything that is music related, they always seem to be drawn to that, and they definitely enjoy music. Then we have a bunch of nose going down and a bunch of nose going up and to the side. So this also represents how Tyrell will obviously see visual words like on the board, or even if he's reading in a book or whatever the case is. These are how the words would be represented within his mind. They would be all over the place, and even though he can partially understand what he's reading, it's always going to be difficult for him to be focused on just a particular word because all of the words are running so fast within his mind. Then we have kind, which obviously represents exactly what he was because he was a very kind person on a daily basis. We have active because Sarel loved being active. Not only did he participate in sports, but also during class time, you would always just find the time to do something that was just active. Next, we have fidgety, which is definitely what he was on a daily basis. He would never just sit still in his place. Myself and the mentor teacher had to constantly remind him to just try and sit still for as long as he can, knowing that it was never going to work. Next, we have forgetful, which is definitely another thing that he always did. Even if you give him instructions, 5 minutes later, he's raising his hand again. Sir, ma'am, what must I do? What must I do? And last but not least, we have distracted, which is another thing that Tara always did on a daily basis. Always seems to be distracted, always busy with one thing and straight on to the next. By the way, ADHD stands for Attention Deficit Hyperactivity Disorder, which in essence basically means that it's very difficult for the child or the person, because obviously this is a disease that starts from children and then it leads into adulthood in most cases. Yeah, so this normally affects their ability to maintain attention for long periods of time. So how could I use this mask making inquiry in a classroom? Very simply, I would ask my learners to complete a task whereby I would ask the learners to pick a particular topic from a set that obviously I would provide to them. I would then ask them, once they've agreed to a single particular topic as a class, they then can focus on that particular task, I would then ask them to conduct a bit of research, as well as provide them with a bit of research. Once I've established that they are ready to go, I will then provide them with the resources and materials in order to complete a mask just like this one. And basically, from all of the research that I've given them, as well as the research that they've done on their own, their task will then be to complete a visual element like this. But it will be obviously on that particular topic that they've chosen or that we have agreed to as a classroom. And I believe that this activity will be not only fun, but it will also give them an opportunity to showcase their creativity. It will be hands-on, and most importantly, it will be interesting. And not only will this be fun for them, but it also will be educational, so they will also learn from it as well. Once all the masks have been completed, we will then have a session whereby we will get to reflect on each other's masks. The learners can then pass around their masks to each other. They can view what they have, and they can not compare, but they can look at each other's differences and also admire their differences. Through this reflection, I believe that feedback can be given, and they can obviously learn from the experience. Why would a mask making inquiry such as this one be an important activity? I believe it will be an important activity because not only, as I said, will it be fun, but it also will give the learners an opportunity to learn something in a different way, which could also be very beneficial towards their learning. It also gives them an opportunity to learn more about that particular topic, as well as see how it can be represented in different ways. This strengthens learners' abilities to learn empathy, as well as sympathy, and most importantly, creativity. So very simply, to close it off, my mask is a true representation of Tyrell. All of the colors, all of the different words, all of the different symbols and elements truly, in my belief, represents what Tyrell stood for on a daily basis.